Before you watch this video, make sure you understand what the sound design process is, because in this video, we are breaking down and implementing the first two phases of the sound design process on an actual Nike commercial. And so if you don't know what the sound design process is or what the hell I'm even talking about, I'm gonna leave a link in the description to a video that breaks down all 7 stages of the sound design process. And then after you watch that, come back to this video and watch this one. Let's get it. Today, I'm walking you through stages 1 and 2 of the sound design process. Stage 1 is setting your listening volume. When we set our listening volume, we want to make sure that as the editor, we are listening at a comfortable volume throughout the sound design process. If we adjust the system's volume while building the sound bed, we will not get an accurate level out of our sounds, leaving them all over the place. So today, we are going to set that level. The second thing we're going to do is cut in our dialogue. Now, as you know, there is really no dialogue in this commercial, but we do have some ADR. ADR is automatic dialogue replacement. This is the process of superimposing dialogue that has been recorded in a controlled space. The only dialogue that we really needed to record was the breathing of our character. So today we will be adding breath to our character. Now, it is a creative choice to add this, but in my opinion, it's way easier for the audience to connect with the character if they can hear them. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so the first thing we need to do is download our assets. In the description of this video, I have a link to the ADR available for download. So if you click that link, it should take you to this page right here. You're gonna see a folder that says breathing. Inside this breathing folder, you literally have all 8 breath files that we're going to be using. So what you're going to want to do is take this breathing folder, come over to these 3 little dots on the right and hit download. Now, I'm in Mozilla Firefox, so my downloads are going to happen right here. If you're on Chrome, your downloads may be here at the bottom. Just wherever your downloads are, go ahead and drag and drop them to your desktop. That's where we're going to start. If you're on Mac, you're going to see a zip file. Now, to unzip the file, all you have to do on Mac is double click it, and it's going to create a folder right here. And inside this folder are all of your breathing assets. But make sure to go through and check to make sure you get sound out of every single file. And once you do, go ahead and close out of that. Go to your project folder. So here's my project folder, Nike Spec Ad. And on the root level of this drive, all we're going to do is drag and drop the breathing assets into the folder. Now, you don't need these files anymore. You can drag and drop these to the trash and empty your trash if you'd like. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to right click inside here and hit new folder. Call this folder capital ADR, Automatic Dialogue Replacement. Drag the breathing inside the ADR. Now, this is going to be our ADR folder. If we ever have to go back and do more breaths or do lines or anything like that, we're going to drag and drop those files into the ADR section. Now, go ahead and open up your Premiere Pro project. Nike Spec Ad, and it's open right here. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drag and drop that ADR folder into Premiere. And if we click on this, you'll see the breathing folder and you'll see all of the breaths. All of these sounds are mixed around negative 30 decibels. They're not meant to be loud, so that's why we did that. Now that our stuff is imported, go to your last sequence. So if you hit sequence, we should see Fine Cut Music 6521 with the little plus marker right there. That this is the last sequence we've created. All we're gonna do is click this file, hit enter to rename, and get rid of that plus mark. Then we are going to click this sequence and we are going to copy it with Command C and then paste it with Command V. We are going to rename this file finecut_soundpass_1. Then we're going to do another underscore and put today's date, which is 7/8/21 for me. And I want to put that little plus mark here to keep this at the top of my sequences folder every time. Now, we are going to be working inside this sequence for a while. We are going to go through all 7 stages of sound design inside this sequence. It is time to set our listening volume. If you have headphones, earphones, anything that's going to get you a better sound out of your system other than your system speakers, it is time to put those on. I have headphones right here. These are Sony's dynamic stereo headphones. They are pretty cheap and they get the job done. So if you guys want headphones like these, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. Let's get down to business. All right, so to set our listening volume, the first thing we're going to do is go to Google. We're going to go to YouTube and type in your favorite song. I like to listen to Vivo because they have some pretty good sound levels. We're going to use Vivo's sound levels to set our listening level on our system. All you're trying to do is adjust your levels to where it's comfortable for your ears and your head that you're listening to. We do not want to change this volume at all. Otherwise, your levels are going to be whacked throughout the rest of the sound design process. So my ears are comfortable around 7 bars on the iMac. So if I go like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once your levels are set, go ahead, get out of there and go back to your project. Do not adjust your volume. Know exactly where your volume is. Again, for me, it's 7 bars on the Mac. So I know every time I come into this project, I'm going to go to 7 bars on the Mac to make sure my listening volume is set. So with that said, step 1 of the sound design process is complete. We've just found our listening level. Moving on to step 2 of the sound design process, dialogue, or adding our ADR. So the way I like to do this is I skim through my video audio, and I try to find the places where I think need that breath. And I know for me, it's around 13 seconds. He has just checked his Nike shoes, and I think I'd want to hear a breath there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in the timeline and make sure no clips are selected and hit M. That marker is going to mean put a breath here. Second place I would like to hear a breath is right here as he's bouncing. This one might be a little tricky. We didn't really get any bouncing breaths, but we'll see what we can do. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We're going to put a marker here in the timeline for our second breath. And the third one is right on this cut. I want him breathing out. So I'm going to set a marker right here for our third breath. So what I like to do is I like to grab the entire ADR folder and drag and drop it onto the timeline. All the breaths right here line up. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these. And because they're really low, we're just going to amp them up about 10 decibels. So I'm going to hit G. I'm going to hit adjust gain by, and I'm going to type in 10. We just want to be able to hear them. That's all. So right now what I want to do is I want to add a couple more tracks to the audio layer. So I'm going to right click here. I'm going to click add tracks. And then we're going to add 5 more audio tracks. Hit enter. You should see them pop up. If you hold shift and click right here, you'll automatically space them all out the same. And we're going to use that. So first thing I'm going to do is go to my first marker, drag and drop the first breath on this marker, and we're going to time it up and we're going to line it up. All we're looking for is if we like this. Do we think this one belongs here? We're going to play with it a little bit. We're going to take it down by 10. If I don't like the first breath, I'm going to bring it to the second one. So he's breathing out on this one. So I'm going to get rid of that first breathe in. This first little hump right here is actually him breathing in. All I'm going to do is cut that out. Come here and let's see what that. You know, I don't know if I like that one too much, so let's move on to the third one. And let's throw the breath in. Let's bring that up a couple. Let's bring it up by 5. I hit G and changed the adjust gain by to 5. I'm actually thinking I want a breath on his look up now that I'm looking at it. So I'm going to cut that breath and I'm going to change it to as he looks up, like a little. Let's see if that works. It's a little late. Let's make it a little earlier. We'll just see. Again, we're just seeing if we like it. I'm kind of into that. We're just going to leave it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that and I'm going to drag that down to layer 5. We'll use layers 5 through 9 just to drop our audio down if we like it there. So what I'm going to do is actually mute that, bring in our next one. And you're going to do this for every single audio clip. All right, future Joey here. So basically what you're doing is you're auditioning every single breath file in every single breath location. Then you're using audio tracks 5 through 9 to store those breath files you like at the location you want. Makes sense, right? Let's get back to it. And it looks like that's it. So we only have one that might work here. Yep, don't like that at all. So we're going to delete that. So what I'm going to do, because we have a couple here, I'm going to set an in point at the beginning of this clip and then an out point right here, just so we have everything inside. And I'm going to hit shift space and it's going to play that on repeat if I hit space again. Not a fan of that one, but it's got this little bounce to it. So let's just like bring you over here. Let's check the bounce here. That kind of works, dude. I kind of like that. So let's delete this second one. I know I didn't like that one. And let's bring you up to stage 1. I like you. All right, now you're going to use the process of elimination to select the best takes for each location. I know it sounds less creative when you do an assembly line type of decision making, but this is how you pair up the best takes with the visual. You have to audition each one in each spot. So back to our program. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start building our audio tracks. So all of this music right here, we're going to select. We're going to click and hold shift to drag it down without moving. If you move it over here while holding shift, it won't move. But if I let go of shift, we move it. Bring it all the way down, track 8. That is where your music is going to stay from now on. This is considered your ADR, your dialogue. This is going to be top billing. Now we're going to keep this sound up here just in case there's anything we want to pull from. I doubt it, but we're just going to do it just in case. So basically your audio tracks on your timeline are going to mimic the 7 stages that we talked about. So for example, stage 1 is set in your listening volume. Stage 2 is set in your dialogue. So your dialogue is going to be here. Stage 3 will be down here. Stage 4, 5, 6, and 7 when we level everything out. And that's more of this guy over here. But regardless, that is our dialogue in ADR. You have successfully completed stage 2 of the sound design process. Just because we put all the ADR in for step 2 does not mean we are completely finished. We will come back and revise each and every step. This is like the rough cut phase of the sound design process. So with that said, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding this part of the process, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one.